So many of us in our community absolutely heartbreaking about the tragedy in Grand Blanc, and we are joined now by Mid-Michigan Congresswoman Kristen McDonald Rivet. She came here into the studio to have a conversation. Thank you for taking time to come in and chat with us. I know you've been traveling around the community, seeing this, talking to people firsthand. Talk first about your reaction as you go through and talk to some people at the ground zero in all of this.
Yeah, you know, the community is obviously heartbroken and devastated. For me, you know, when I got that text on Sunday morning, so many of us get up on Sunday morning and go to church with our families. And it's always a time that is relaxed and you are putting aside all of the stresses of the week. So to have that hit in that place at that time is so upsetting, right? And I think that it shatters things for people in the community.
Well, you should be able to feel safe there.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people are sitting there with their children. We talked to some of the people who had to go find their children during this chaos. I can't even imagine how terrifying that would be. How do we start to restore some of that security for everyone who's going to service on Sunday morning?
It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. I mean, you know, my husband and I have raised 6 kids in mid-Michigan, and I honestly talk to moms in particular all the time that will talk about that kind of pit in their stomach.
Yes.
Whether they're dropping their kid off at school or they're headed into, you know, even a block party, ought to be safe. We have a right to feel safe in these places, and that is broken, frankly. We hear this across the country a lot. Nobody ever thought it would come here, and people are rightfully very upset.
And it really can happen anywhere.
It can. I mean, we know Grand Blanc to be a very safe community. The township, the city, very safe communities. But it broke that bubble for people. I think we can find a lot of warmth, happiness, hope when we look at the first responders.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
just their heroic effort and the fact that they were trained and ready and knew what to do.
And knew what to do. And then we also saw communities all over mid-Michigan, from Oakland County, we saw coming from Saginaw County, all around Genesee County, there immediately, many within the hour, to lend their hand, the FBI coming in and taking lead. You know, there's still so much we don't know, so much of the scene that's got to be processed. A lot of healing and mourning has to be done with the victims that we need to all be there for. But those are places where we can look to say, we're going to be okay.
There is hope.
There's hope. We can heal from this.
And you talked about the FBI being on hand, leading the investigation. What other federal resources can we count on as our community tries to rebuild and heal?
Well, you know, it is a sad fact that a federal pot of money exists for victims of mass shootings.
That is so sad.
It is so sad, but the reality is that it happens all too frequently in this country. In fact, there were 2 mass shootings this weekend, one in our community, the other one in North Carolina at a school. Right? But there are pots of money available, and it's from the administrative, you know, our local townships resources have been spread very thin. We can help with that, help pay overtime and those sorts of things. But it's also the need for follow-up support for the victims, support for the people who were in the church at the time, mental health supports.
Well, and for the first responders who had to go in to that situation, will there be mental health support as they try to recover?
Yes, those are the things that we can help from the federal level. I know that Governor Whitmer was here yesterday pledging the same kind of support. You know, we never wanted to be here. We never wanted to be here, but we now are in a place where we should all come together and help each other and bring as many resources into the community as we can.
Something that's so heartbreaking is we've seen this, of course, on the national scale. You've seen the divisiveness, but to have it in our community, I mean, what can you say to try to help bring people together, just to be kind and to respect one another's different views? It just shows the danger of some of this rhetoric and some of it's leading to violence.
Yes, 100%. So I think that this is an important time as a country that we take a good hard look in the mirror. This is a uniquely American problem, and we have too much rhetoric of the problem is you, not me. It's not me, it's them, and creating divisions. And that's happening at a political level. It's happening at a community level. I mean, it is pervasive. It's happening through social media in really
Absolutely.
extreme
and
ways.
that's scary too. Even in the heart of this crisis, some
Right.
of the rumors flying on social media,
Right.
really scaring people.
Really scaring people, really scaring people. And, we have to figure out how we can come together around our common values, right? We believe in community and love and belonging and faith. These are things that we all hold. And I know that nobody wants another child to die. Nobody wants another mass shooting. Okay, we can agree there.
We can all agree on
Can all
that.
agree there, right? Can we agree to go forward and understand that we have more in common than we have different, and that there are pathways out of this? I know there's a lot of conversation of, do we need gun violence legislation? Do we need more money in mental health? Yes to those things, yes. But we also need to come back to our values as a country and as a community. And right now, the rhetoric, the statements that are putting out that creates there's us and there's them is an extreme problem. And it gets to people who are spending time on social media that may be triggered in a way.
Who are mentally ill.
Who are mentally ill. And it's time for something different.
What about some of the things we're learning about the possible motive and some of the danger signs? Can you talk a little bit about that in the community? If you see someone who's struggling, if you see something that's not just right, we all can play a role in trying to prevent situations like this. I mean, looking back at some of the things we're hearing now, some of the things that he was saying, it sounds like some people should have probably stepped in or tried to call somebody and done something to help.
Yeah, we don't have all the information, so I want to be really careful because the FBI is still working through all of those pieces, and I think a lot will come to light over the next week. But what if we just started here? Know your neighbor, check in on them, know what's happening, and if you're worried, do something, right? Most people do not have a neighbor that's about to commit a mass shooting. That's not what I'm saying at all, but I do remember a time when everyone knew who lived next door to them.
It's true.
And knew the names of the kids that lived next door. There's no reason why we can't go back to that and take care.
Start with kindness.
And start with kindness and start with an understanding that if a member of our community is really struggling, then we're all struggling. So, there is a better way for us to live. And it will start piece by piece by piece. I have to tell you, I will never understand why Sandy Hook wasn't the thing that changed everything.
That stopped it, right.
That stopped it. And we rolled past it. And, 2 mass shootings this weekend, and we all are just sort of waiting for the next one.
And yet, I don't want us to become numb to it. It should be
100%.
something that changes things.
Should
right?
change. It should change things.
So how can you, in your role, help to bring people together?
Well, it starts by not engaging in the divisive rhetoric.
Right.
On Sunday evening after the shooting, the first community vigil was held by the Republican Party in Genesee County. I am a Democrat. I went to pray with them. Right. That's okay. This is a moment.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. We can pray together, and we can pray that for a stop to the violence in our communities and the violence that we're seeing around the country. We can start there, not deciding that if someone doesn't agree with every viewpoint you have, that they are evil, is a good place to start.
Well, we thank you for your time and your effort going out and just walking throughout our community and being there during this time when so many people are hurting. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.